Hi, and this is Mike Garner from MrMikeGarner.com, coming to you from Hua Hin Town Centre, witnessing the world. Well, today I'm witnessing a number of things in myself. I'm quite immobile, although I'm able to drive the car. For some reason my left foot has decided to explode. I think I've got what is called tendonitis. My Achilles tendon is on fire. My whole foot is black and blue. I think it's ruptured vessels and muscles and all sorts of things, as my foot's gone extremely floppy. But luckily I can drive this car today. I've been pretty mobile for 4 or 5 days. Last 4 or 5 days really got into rainy season, monsoon season really, here in Hua Hin in sunny Thailand. It's still sunny, it's still warm, 32 degrees, feels like 37. T-shirt, flip-flops, although not flip-flops for me anymore while my foot's playing up. And it's a hot one, but it's hot and rainy and steamy. It's there's flash floods everywhere, and you can just be on your moped, motorbike or whatever you're in, or in your car, and it comes down, you've got to pull over because your windscreen wipers just don't cope with it. It's really fascinating. I absolutely love it. I had 32 years as an AA patrol working in Manchester and North Wales, and I've never seen rain like it. And there's very little drainage system here. The gutters fill very quickly. The rain comes down off the mountains, and it's just it all pools and creates streams down the main roads, and cars float. So it's not that bad now, but if it was that bad I certainly wouldn't have come out. Just driven out to drop EQ, who is a child that I have living with me. I'm almost like his foster dad. I'm not really, but it's just a situation of care and taking care of a family member that needs it. And he's at the dentist, which is sort of over there. That's looking now out at a crazy roundabout where you take your life into your own hands. Motorbikes everywhere, and this is what I particularly wanted to talk about. Look at that there, a little food stall, food there, food everywhere. Everywhere here in Thailand is food. But I'm very much aware of street food, which is fantastic here, and the culture. For a friend of mine, Neil Hurd, and if you're watching this, hello Neil, but he went to work in London before he moved to Australia, and I went to visit him at Thames Embankment. And I've worked in London as well as a consultant, psychologist for a couple of companies. And when you live and work in London, you have this tendency of leaving work and staying in the city or staying in town, eating and entertaining yourself, socialising before you go home. Obviously in London they've got the tube. Here you've got these roads, and everywhere so spread out in Thailand. You know, it's a vast country, and although I'm in a town here, when you get out of the town you're actually really in the stick straight away. Where I live it's almost like jungle. In fact, interestingly enough, just unlocking the gate to get out of my compound where I built my project, there was a snake hanging off the door lock, gate lock, the padlock, which had to get a stick and move the snake. A little grass snake, not poisonous, and I love them actually. I'm going to make sure they're not poisonous obviously, but there are poisonous snakes here. Well, there's poisonous snakes all over the country, and in the UK. So you know, you're just going to make sure it's safe. Moved the snake, undid the padlock and came out. I think this weather, this humidity brings the snakes out, it brings out all the flies and everything. I just find it fascinating. It doesn't put me off at all. It's a very interesting place to live. But there's street food everywhere, and that's what I'm witnessing. And as I say, when you go to London and you stay in town, stay in the city before you go home, pretty much people do that here. They live in these condominiums and these little Thai ghetto places and shanty towns, which are really colourful, really beautiful. You could say that there's a certain level of working class poverty here, but people aren't feeling sorry for themselves. They're embracing life. They don't expect much. I've said this before. They live for king and country and faith, Buddha. Some are Muslim, obviously, mainly Buddhist where I am, and they're just getting on with it and living peacefully with it, amongst it. And you can get food here at any time of the day or night. Everything's open day and night. You get a haircut, you can get a car wash, you can get petrol, you can get food. Shops are open here 24/7 basically. Obviously some people who run businesses close. You know, you probably wouldn't find a plumber's merchant at 1 in the morning, but you would find a plumber, and he would come at 1 in the morning, and he wouldn't charge his ridiculous call out fee either. So I find that very refreshing. And if you can look out your back window there now, there's a guy getting off his motorbike. Looks about 10, 11 years old. Flip-flops, no helmet, that's about standard. See people here, 3, 4 up on a motorbike. Mothers with the children on the handlebars. Usually youngest child on the handlebars and 2 kids behind taking them to school or picking them up. Please just leave them alone. And given that level of responsibility, the kids live up to that level of responsibility. They don't abuse it, you know. There are accidents here, as they are everywhere, and obviously with no helmets on, the accidents are quite grim. So there's that to consider. I always wear a helmet here. But the lifestyle is really interesting to witness. Just looking here now at this stall here, they've actually stopped with the motorbike. Haven't really got off the motorbike, getting the food, get back onto the motorbike and carry on. And that's just a lifestyle. It basically is live, laugh, eat, pray, work, sleep, repeat. And there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. A lot of pride in that. You don't see many people unemployed here. See a lot of what would be in the UK considered pensionable age, people who you would expect to be retired working. Obviously there's wealth here. Wealth tends to retire, but the general population tend to keep going. Grandparents look after grandkids, so they stay useful. And just witnessing the whole thing, it's just a culture and a society that really works. Look at this here now, looking at this guy here with his girlfriend or his wife getting on, taking the shopping, and coming past now is a BART bus. Look at that, there it goes. Actually, surprisingly, not carrying people but carrying something not tied in the back. A BART bus is almost like a midi bus, like a midi van, little transit van of some description, and they cut it out, and people travel in it for 10 baht, and they go everywhere. 10 baht represents something like about 25p. You can go miles in that. I know last time I was in the UK, I got a taxi. Cost me nearly £40 to get home from Llandudno one night. Llandudno to Colwyn Bay. Here, when I landed on the aeroplane into Bangkok, and then I took 150 kilometres, sort of like a 110 mile trip, 4 hours from Bangkok through to Hua Hin. It cost me 1200 baht, which is 26 quid for the 4-hour taxi ride in an air-conditioned VIP taxi. Massive difference in value for money. So I'm just witnessing the whole of this and sharing it with you guys, and just embracing it while I'm here. Fully intend to be back in the UK in October. if not before, depending on circumstances. Got some contracts, got some commitments, want to see my family and my loved ones, special people in my life. But while I'm here, I intend to enjoy it. I've got to say that this foot situation has debilitated me, but it's only made my body ache. It's only made my body hurt. I'm inside my body, and the real me has a body, and I'm aware that my body is playing up. But oh, listen to this. Can you see that? That green van there has got a big speaker on it, and there's obviously something like you can hear him speaking, can't you? There's obviously something like a church temple event, a festival, religious something, and that's what they do. They tend to announce it everywhere. I know in the morning from my house there's speakers all over the little hamlet that I live in, down at the crossroads, which is probably half a mile away. There's speakers there where the community leader, the elders, read the newspaper every day and give community news, farming news, weather news, anything that's relevant to the locals who live in the community. They also do prayers. They do it at something like 6 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the evening. So they love the megaphones here. Give a Thai person a microphone, they'll either do karaoke all day or they'll make announcements or prayers. It's it's really interesting. So I'm just waiting for EQ to come back now from the dentist. No doubt he'll be full of stories, and most of them I won't understand because he speaks in Thai with a few English words, but he probably doesn't understand me because I speak in English with very few Thai words, but it makes life interesting. And that's the point really. Life is interesting. Whatever comes along, look at it with curiosity, not with anger. Witness things as I do. Attempt as best as you can not to react. I get that wrong, but I try and get it right. I do get it right most of the time. Like that song says, I'm only human after all. Do the best you can with what you've got right now, and if you're enjoying these Witnessing the World presentations, put your comments in the comments box below. Tell me what you're witnessing, and let's share the fascination and the joy of life. God bless. Bye for now.